It's 1 a.m. You are lying in bed. Nothing happened today. Not really. You went to work. You talked to a few people. You ate dinner. Maybe you laughed at few jokes. You spent some time on social media. So on paper, it was a normal day. But now it's quiet. And the moment it's quiet, your mind starts doing the thing it does best. It starts asking questions. What if I fail? What if I'm wasting my life? What if I never find someone? What if I'm not good enough? What if things never get better? What if I'm making the wrong decision? What if, what if, what if? You've definitely had some version of this. Maybe not tonight, maybe last week, driving home alone, maybe after you watch someone you know post something and your stomach dropped for a reason you can't even explain. Maybe right after an argument, replaying it, finding new ways to lose it in your head. Different situations, different words. But if you actually look at them, I mean, really look at them, they are not different questions. They are the same questions wearing different clothes. And underneath every single one of them is something smaller and something much harder to say out loud, which is, am I going to be okay? That's the fundamental question. Am I going to be okay? That's it. That's the question. And I'm not going to answer it in the next 30 seconds because it doesn't deserve a quick answer. It deserves an actual answer. But before we get into it, if you want answers to normal day questions, those kind of questions that seem insignificant, but they are very important for the way you think, the way people do, the way people behave, the way they behave, why people do what they do, smash that subscribe button because that's what we do here every day. We take those moments and put meaning to it for you. Welcome to the community. So let's go back to our main question. Am I going to be okay? Because what's strange about this question is that the person asking the question is not always someone who is falling apart. Maybe you watching this video now have been asking you the same question, but maybe in different forms. And it doesn't mean your life is falling apart or it doesn't mean you're completely falling apart. You go to work. You show up for your friends. You exercise. You laugh at the right moment. You post your vacation pictures. You're a normal person, just living your life, winning in some areas and not winning in other areas. But you are not falling apart. And from outside, you look like someone who has figured everything, who's got everything figured out. But the questions don't care what your life looks like from the outside. They show up when it's quiet, at night, when you're stuck in traffic, in the showers, in the 10 seconds when you drop your phone down. And they usually change shape depending on where you are in your life. If you're still young, it sounds like, am I going anywhere? In your 30s, it sounds like, am I behind? In your 40s, it might sound like, is it actually the life I wanted? And later on in life, it can sound like, did I spend my time wisely? None of this means your life is bad. And that's exactly the part people get wrong about themselves. Because you can be genuinely grateful for what you have, for your people, for your work, for your health, and still wake up in the night afraid and wondering where it's heading to. Those two things aren't in conflict. Gratitude does not cancel fear because they live in the same chest. Now, here's the part most people never notice. This question never shows up as, am I going to be okay? It's too big. It's too uncomfortable to say it out directly like that. So it puts out a disguise. And I'm going to give you the 5 usual ones that come over and over. And I guarantee you, within the past month or two, you have asked yourself these 5 questions. You can tell me in the comment section if I'm lying or not. The first disguise is, am I enough? You know, this one rings in your head when you spend the 10 extra seconds in front of a mirror. You're looking at yourself and you're asking, am I enough? The message you rewrite 4 times before you press the send button. The achievement that should have made you feel good, but instead it made you think about the next one that's coming. And this one doesn't always look like insecurities. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism, like overworking, like needing someone to tell you that you did well before you can actually believe and feel that you did well. And underneath it is one question. If I'm not enough, will people still want me around? That's the one question. The second disguise is always, will someone love me? This one usually shows up as anxiety before that first date. The overthinking after someone take 2 hours to text you back. The jealousy that feels irrational even while you're feeling it. It's loneliness on that Friday night that has nothing to do with actually being lonely. The real question it's asking is, will someone be there for me if things really go bad? Will there be someone next to me if it gets hard? The third disguise is, Am I falling behind? And this is the one that hits hardest around milestones. Someone buys a house. Someone gets married. Someone gets promoted. And it's not that you don't want good things for them. You probably do. But there is that quiet voice that starts doing the math you didn't even ask it to do. And here's the thing about that voice though. It's rarely comparing what you have. It's comparing where you think you're supposed to be by now. A number nobody actually gave you. That you built yourself out of everyone else's highlight reel. The fourth disguise is, am I doing the right thing with my life? And this one is sneaky because it doesn't need failure to show up. You can be doing well, genuinely, measurably well, and still lie down in bed wondering if you build the right life or you build the available one. And unfortunately, success doesn't automatically answer this question. Sometimes it makes the question louder because now there is more to lose if the answer is no. Now, the fifth disguise is the rawest one. It's the one that keeps, especially those doing well, this one really destroys their brains. And the disguise is, what if everything goes wrong? What if I just lose everything? The relationship ends, the money runs out, health changes, the job disappears, people leave. And this is the one where your mind stops asking and start rehearsing, playing out disasters that haven't happened in detail, like it's preparing you for something. And this is where it gets interesting because this is where you can actually see what your brain is doing to you. And your brain does this because your brain is a predicting machine. That's its job. It's constantly trying to guess what happens next. Because for most of human history, guessing wrong could get you killed. Predicting danger before it arrives used to be the difference between living and not living. So, up till today, your brain has not yet updated. Your brain is still reacting to uncertainty as if uncertainty was dangerous. So, when it doesn't know what happens next, it fills in the blank spaces for you. And it rarely fills it with something neutral. Now, here's a distinction that matters, that should matter to you from today. Possibility is not probability, and probability is not reality. I could lose everything. It's a possibility, but it is not the same as I am likely to lose everything. And even if it were likely, it still won't be this is currently happening. But unfortunately, anxiety doesn't respect that ladder. So it starts with what if, then it becomes maybe, then it becomes probably. And somewhere in there, without you agreeing to it, it becomes it's going to happen. You didn't get new information. You just allowed your brain to climb that ladder unsupervised. Now, add the mobile phone into our generation, into an era where we live in. You open it, and in about 4 seconds, you've seen someone's relationship, someone's body, someone's vacation, someone's new house, someone's we are blessed caption. And the crazy part is that you were not even unhappy 30 seconds ago, but you immediately start asking yourself, why don't I have that? But underneath it, the quiet question is, am I doing something wrong? And this is not about social media being evil. It's about what you're actually looking at. You're comparing your full unedited life in boring parts, the doubt, the version of you that exists at 1 a.m. You're comparing that to someone's best 4 seconds that they have edited and thrown on social media. Believe me, that's not a fair comparison because it was never going to be. But your brain runs it anyway because it was meant to compare. And comparison is the fastest way to activate the same underlying questions again. So naturally, you go looking for certainty. Do you think everything is going to work out? Do you think she still likes me? Do you think I made the right call? And then someone assures you. And when someone assures you, for the moment, it feels good. It actually helps. And then tomorrow comes. And then you need to hear those assurances again. Now, the uncomfortable part is that the reassurance doesn't run out because the people around you are bad at reassuring you. No, it runs out because it was actually never built to solve the problem. Because the problem most of the time is not the situation. It is a demand for guarantee before you're willing to move forward. You don't become free the day you finally know everything will be okay. You become free the day you finally stop needing that validation. The day you stop needing that guarantee before you can move forward, that's the day you become free. So this is what you should do when next time you start getting the ifs. When there is if this, if that, when you start getting it next time, do this. And don't say you will think positive. No, that's the wrong thing to do. That's a wrong strategy. It's like a bumper sticker. When you start thinking the ifs, I want you to ask 3 questions in this order. The first question you should ask is, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen. Not what you are afraid of. What is true in this exact moment? Usually the answer is you are safe. You are breathing. Nothing has actually gone wrong yet. Then you move to the second question. which is what am I predicting? Name the story your mind is writing. Say it out loud if you have to. I'm predicting that this ends badly. Once you can see it as a prediction, it stops feeling like a fact. Now you move to the third question. If it did happen, what would I actually do? And this one changes everything because it moves you out of helpless fear into problem solving. And most people never ask this question. They just marinate in the fear itself and never get to the part where they picture themselves handling it. And that leads to the real shift. The shift underneath the real question you're asking. You don't need to know that everything will be okay. You need to know that you can face anything that comes your way. That's a different kind of confidence. It's not, I'm sure this will work out. Instead, it is, even if it doesn't work out, I'm still standing here. Now, here's the truth, nobody's going to hand you a way around. Nobody gets a guarantee. Not you. Not even someone who looks like they've got everything figured out. No one. You don't know if the relationship lasts. You don't know if the career works out exactly how you pictured it. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Neither does anyone else know. The difference is that the other people are just better at staying quiet, keeping calm under the stress, under the tension. And that's not a flaw in your life. That's just how life is. So the goal was never to get rid of uncertainty. It's to become someone who can build life inside of it without waiting for permission that's never going to arrive. Courage is not knowing it will all work out. Courage is building the life anyways, without a guarantee. So now let me ask you something. When you are completely alone by yourself, no phones, no noise, no distraction, only you. What is your what if? Is it what if I never find love? Is it what if I never become successful the way I've always wanted to? Is it what if I disappoint everyone? Is it what if I'm wasting my life? Is it what if I'm running out of time? You don't have to give me the whole story. You don't owe anyone that detail. Just finish the sentence in the comments. What if? I actually want to know because I know a lot of people have never actually said it out loud. Not to a friend, not to a partner, or not even to themselves. So you have permission to say it here. Let's see how many of us are carrying around the same ones. Anyways, thank you for watching. Before you leave, check this one out. And then smash the subscribe button, turn on your notification, because there are lots of lessons like this coming your way. Thank you for being here. Share with your brother who needs to watch this and see you in the next one. Copy that.